Hello, everybody. We're going to be exporting our mod today for use in SmutMods. Right now, we have a character in our scene view. We were previously testing random movement and jiggle and dynamic physics. We're just going to go ahead and delete our scene view prefab. We really should not be working anymore on that. So we're just going to be making sure we edit our prefab only. First step to make sure we do is right-click the very root level of our character, the SmutLabs prepare character, and that will do several things automatically, and you shouldn't really have to do anything at that point. From there, we're just going to go over to our SmutLabs toolbar entry and click on SmutLabs Content Wizard. We're going to dock that over here so that way it takes up the right-hand side of our screen, and we're going to press a Create New button. There's a drop down, and we're going to stay on character, and we're going to follow the naming convention rules. This is just for safe naming internally. Make sure there's no conflicts or issues. We're just going to call this Widowmaker. I beg you to be better in your naming and say something along the lines of author underscore Widowmaker. And that way it's just easier to avoid naming collisions with other mods. So once you do that, press create. It's going to ask you where you want to put this. You can't put this anywhere other than the default it gives you in your assets folder. So just make sure that you just save it there. And we now have a changed screen. Now what we can do is several things right off the bat. Is we can capture an icon. You can do this in a scene view. You can do this in the prefab view. It does not matter. You can replace the background with this black. You can create a background. You can upload an icon that's custom. You just have to ensure that's 128 by 128 pixels. Now, we have created our ID before, which was author underscore Widowmaker. Our display name is totally different. It can have any kind of naming convention you want within limits. I built in some limits, but we're just going to now call this Overwatch 2 Widowmaker. Or technically it would be better is Widowmaker parentheses OW2. Creator name. Technically Blizzard Entertainment created this, but let's say I made a custom character. I could just say Spice. Great. And then for the link, I could put it in a Twitter, I could put it on Patreon, I could put a Gumroad. Doesn't matter. That appears as a nice little button for anyone interested in whoever created this mod. In this case, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to put a creator name. I definitely did not create this. This is for internal use developer content. You should have no reason to click that unless you know what you're doing. That might be its own separate video. We have a nice little increment system. Let's say this is your very first version of this character. You just simply leave it blank. As you start releasing characters or versions of the different mod, updating the mod, you can patch it like this is a non-important change, like a very slight issue that was fixed. Minor is something that changes something significant, and major usually means it's a breaking change for other systems. That's why there's a warning. Platforms, as of now, leave everything as is. Content, we need to find our Widowmaker prefab, and we can either just go in through here to find it and drag it in, or we can just click this little button and try and find for it in this window. We can search for it, and we'll just say like that one is it. We know that one is it. That one is our source file. Sadly, those come up. We do not want our source files. We just want our prefabs. Do not click force fallback for Android. That's just for material testing. If there's any issues, it will tell you them right here. And this is where you export your mod to. So I'm just going to say Unity Project, SmutLabs, downloaded mods. I'm just going to put it in here for now. And Once I click this button, it's going to start building this mod. And it is going to put it, once it's done, unlock shader was found and will not be included in the build. This will custom materials. This is, let's fix this real quick. I believe this is due to a Poyomi shader. Once this is done, we'll fix that real quick. So let's go up here to Poyomi. You don't have to do this if you do not have Poyomi. I believe we need to lock in optimize shader. Yeah, we're gonna have to click on lock optimize shader for each one of our Poyomi materials. Not all of them are Poyomi. And then we can go back and build it. And it will just go to the same exact folder. It'll overwrite everything. What I do when I'm testing out mods is I just go ahead and export these directly into the user mods folder, so that way I don't have to have a in-between step of dragging the folder and putting it into my game. And as you see, that time we didn't have a warning, and now we have our own little mod right here. 22 megabytes. Great. Now we want to distribute that. We would just right click that, send to zip folder, and bam, now we can just send that anywhere and anyone else can install it.